Hey, hello everybody. We are back this afternoon talking with Amy and What Do You See channel, who's got a new icon on her profile. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Karen. Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
Diane.
Karen and Amy.
Hello, Diane. Hello.
Hey, my
Hello,
darlings.
Diane.
Anyway, we've
Hello.
come to this for this hangout to listen to a bit more of Diane's story and what happened to her.
Yes.
Where would you like me to start?
Well, we did a bit the other day. I know, Amy, if you want to ask questions at a time, you just have to butt in.
Okay.
But I know you'll listen a bit anyway.
Yes.
Well, we've met you, and just you know, you wrote to me a while ago. They're my shadows, and then obviously just explain again what happened, because obviously this is going to be on a premiere, so there'll be a chat room.
Cool. Okay, well, back on August the 16th, 2018. Oh, sorry, the 13th. What was it? The 13th of August, yeah. I was watching, surfing the net and come across the Chris Watts news unfolding. And naturally, I took a direct interest in it because I love true crime. So, over the next few days, naturally, I watched everything that could possibly come up on it. And I just felt something was really, really wrong. And something was nagging me about Chris Watts and his two babies, because he was adamant at the police station that he would never do that. And I just felt that he didn't. So when the surveillance footage came out, I was right onto it. And I watched it over and over again countless times. And I noticed things moving around in the background. So I got my spyglass out, my phone, and I was, taking snapshots of certain things in the film, in Nate's footage. And I was going slow-mo and doing all sorts of things. And I found North Korea holding Bella on the driveway. I watched them both come out. They're two different people. And then I got closer in and got the picture of NK and Bella, and also another one later on. But what happened then? I was on AD's page, and I don't. Armchair. Alan Vinicombe. Alan Vinicombe. He goes by the handle the Armchair Detective. I probably shouldn't have said that because, whatever.
But you can find it if you Google him. It is available in Google, so I think it's okay to say his
Okay.
Alan.
Okay.
But
So anyway, then I'd done a lot of research on the Madeleine McCann case and came across AD's page, and an AD's page. So I actually, a picture of a little girl that had been terribly abused came across my Facebook page, and I thought, gee, that looks like Marilyn McCann. So I was doing some research, and I thought, well, AD does Marilyn McCann, so I sent it to him, this picture, asking him, what does he think, la la la, because, I thought it was Maddie McCann. And I sent a comparison picture and this and that. So anyway, I never heard back from him. So kept going on his page, and this case came up. And I found NK and Bella, like I said, and I sent him the picture that I took first up, I think, and also the timestamps of when the shadow appears, there's a lot of things going on in the video, and these are when they come out of the driveway, all sorts of things like that. So anyway, I sent it to him, email, and he never replied. That was 2 weeks. And another 2 weeks, I did the same again, and I waited because I discovered the shadows in October, actually. And I didn't know what to do with them. That's why I went to AD. Because I thought, you know, he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
So the next thing you know, my computer went down, and it was I couldn't use anything because I'd done a lot of research, lots of pictures, all the videos, everything. Luckily enough, I had an external drive, so that was cool. But 6 weeks later, and over Christmas, I couldn't contact any of my family or they me. So that was pretty bad.
Yes.
And then in January, I'd got my computer fixed, and I got back online, and I went onto the page, and then I went onto his live, and he was talking about how he found the shadows and this and that. And I said, oh, hang on a minute. No, you didn't. I found the shadows. I thought, you know, I'll let it go. But then I thought, no, why should I? I've worked hard to find those shadows. And he didn't, you know, that's hours and hours and days and weeks and months of my work, my time, my effort.
Yes.
And so I started asking him actually to, you know, let's just admit what you did, and we can be done with it. But he never would. In fact, he started...
I don't think you were quite so worried that he had it, but what you were concerned about was that you weren't mentioned at all.
He never gave me any credit whatsoever. And he took my theories, you know, my nuances, the way I say things, my little phrases like anywho. And, you know, if you have too many coincidences, it makes a plan. And I know he pinched that off me because I pinched it off Donald Trump and used it on the page, you know. So it's things like that. And it was like he was trying to possess me, I swear.
Yes.
And he's still doing it. He's still claiming the shadows as his. Each time, like a few months will go by, he started off that he found them in February, I think. Then it went back to January the 16th. Then it went back to January the 6th. And now it's back in December. Oh, but before that, it came to him in a dream. And all sorts of things like this.
Wow.
It's shocking. But someone who also knows about the shadows, because they were directly involved with Mr. Vinicombe getting that video and the timestamps, who I'm not going to mention at this point. Because I don't feel I need to. All the proof is on my channel that I need, I think. But, you know, this person has...
Did you just say your channel name again, Diane? What's your channel name, just in case people are coming in?
What do you see? What do you see? WATT.
It must have been a bit, you know, upsetting, really.
I was devastated.
Yes.
I was absolutely devastated. He stole my work and then claimed it. And, you know, I can't help but feel somehow, you know, it was just coincidental that my computer just happened to break down at that time. And then when I come back on, he's told everybody that he's discovered the shadows and, you know, and bragging about how he's now got 30,000 subs basically overnight, and his shadows and this and that. And, you know, I don't know. I was just devastated. I'm still devastated by it because that was my first venture into do anything this serious and look at the you know, what do you call it, the evidence.
Yes.
There was one difference though, wasn't there, Diane? You weren't doing it for money. You were doing it so that the people could have information, whereas he was only doing it. He was only doing it for money.
Yes,
exactly.
And that's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that that's all he cares about. is the money.
That's right.
My intentions were, and you know, still remain, that this, I don't know how anyone can benefit off something like this. I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know what to title this event, the Chris Watts case. But
Yes.
seeing all these people, like lawyers, Scott Reich, making money off it, Dr. Phil, you know, it makes me want to vomit. I mean,
know.
and yeah, and then down the rabbit hole we go, don't we? Because then I'm sitting back thinking, well, I'm watching this man who's stolen my work, claimed it as his own, making all this money, and I'm having, you know, I don't know. I just don't think it's fair.
It upset you quite a lot at the time, didn't it?
Well, you know, I'm on a pension. I get approximately $400 and something a fortnight after my bills are paid to live on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
right.
And, you know, it was costing me $60 to put the internet on for like 30 hours of network. And I was using all of that to research the Chris Watts case.
Yes.
And, you know, for good.
Exactly.
For the good of the case. And to help. But, you know, I realised after a while that they don't seem to want any help with this case. You know, and which leads into the shadows. But as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Vinicom is not a very nice human being, and to do that to someone so they can grab the limelight because they're so hungry for it, over and above any moral or ethical bone in his body, if he's got one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure about that, as Unscrambled, only for information, put out that we could see on this tiny bit of footage that he was a sort of 70 to 80-year-old man, and then and then minutes later you're zooming in, and actually he's a sort of late 30s, early 40s woman. So I don't know who this person is, because they keep changing.
Exactly.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
And, I saw something on YouTube tonight. I'll just say what it's about. Someone put somehow I came across a video that was made by someone, and it's like a model that you'd use to, you know, the graphic design, but it's like the games that you play. So they look real. And I just saw tonight they've made a video, and this is it's like a virtual person talking to you. You know, but I mean, with a bit of work, you could make him look absolutely 100% real.
Yes.
It's freaky out there.
It is. I think I saw something like that too, Diane. I saw the same thing. And you can make the person, you know, look virtual, or use virtuality to make them look real or something. But I know what you're talking about.
Well, we sort of, through research, even Amy knows, I'm sure Diane does, that there are other channels. I don't know what they're all doing. I think they're all working together, to be honest. But they've got some really weird things going on in their footage.
Yes, they do.
So we're not even sure whether they're hologramming or it is some kind of virtual reality, or it's both. Virtual hologramming. But they're doing something like that. You can't have a man flick into a 70, 80-year-old and then turn into a woman, basically, in front of you. And you don't even notice it. There's something going on there. I'm sorry. There just is. And his isn't the only footage like that. Well, I don't know what they are or who they are.
That one that you did today, I think, with the head on his ear.
Yes.
That just, wow.
I know.
There's pictures within the pictures, within the pictures, within the pictures.
It is. And there's a channel that's putting out all these new pictures. A lot of them do look like ones I haven't seen before, but in every one of them I can find, just little things where little faces or little evidences of holograms and stuff. And somebody, even when this person's channel made a comment, because she could see above Cece's head, it looked like another face or something. And the commenter mentioned it, and she was kind of upset in the comment. She said, "Oh, what is that above Cece's head?" And the channel owner, she said, "I don't see anything. I think it's a light." And then the other commenter said, "No, I'm telling you, it's a head or a face or something." So then the channel creator actually did say, "Oh, yes, I see it. It is a face." And they were trying to say, well, maybe it was like an angel or something. It was when the girls were riding in the car, how Shanann would do. She would drive around and they'd be in the back seats of the car. That was the picture. And people were just starting to notice that. So I referred them over to Unscrambled, because they knew something wacky was taking place. So I said, well, I would advise you to check the Unscrambled channel. This was about a month ago, and I don't think anybody ever really did.
Well, I think there's two things going on here. I think they're doing something, as we know, but Google will do things as well. Google put writing on people and things. They do weird things. I've made a few videos about it. I've even shown Amy. And, it's just crazy. Why are there all these subliminal messages added?
Exactly.
They've been doing it since the 50s or even probably the 30s. Hugh Hefner said something very, very smart. He said, stop watching all these new age movies and whatnot. And he only watched the black and white movies because in the black and white movies, then they're restricted in they can't have a green screen, can they?
That's right.
Black and white.
That's right.
So they can't be sending you subliminal messages.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of us are absolutely gobsmacked at this footage. But the Watts case was just a bit different, wasn't it? It was something where, we can go and watch other cases. You can go and watch it through Crime Watch Daily. You can go and see it on the news. You can find it in places all over these cases. But the Watts case, we seem to get all the Facebook, the discovery document, everybody's names and addresses, telephone numbers. We got, but obviously we got all this information, but most of us have noticed that a lot of the things still don't add up. Like the autopsies, the autopsy says Shanann didn't have a scar. It says she had no scars. And then it said she had brown eyes and brown hair, whereas we saw a green, blue-eyed person with hazel-eyed person with black hair, purple hair. I just find it was just like, and even Cece's and Bella's autopsy they got wrong. They got her address wrong.
Yes.
They said that Chris Watts was only on the drive for 10 minutes. And I think that really shocked me because, okay, Diane's shadows, she is the shadow lady, she's the armchair detective here. But I couldn't believe how they could give us all that when actually he was only there for 10 minutes, because that's what the discovery document says. It's all weird.
Yes.
You know what else gets me is how they try to pass off, because part of my theory was the dropping off at the, having the girls murdered at Anadarko. Although in retrospect, I'm pretty sure that Cece was probably already passed, but Bella was still alive. And although I still question that too. I mean, there's so much, depending on which frame you look at in the pictures that I've got. She could be sleeping, she could be knocked out, she could, you can't really tell. But,
right.
The only thing that's changed my mind a bit is that I keep seeing the DA. He plays other people. You know, he was in the Mullins case. He's Colonel Russell Williams, and he was also this news reporter in Australia going, "G'day," you know, like, and he was interviewing Cindy Watts. You know, she was someone else now. So it's all a bit like, what is all this?
I know.
We're living in fantasy land, aren't we?
Yes, fantasy land. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
All these people, it turns out to be the same people. I can't get over it.
Yeah, what it is a lot of people who are coming in or listening or coming to the premiere, you know, the chat room, you know, a lot of us, like, in this last week or so I've known Diane, we've spent hours talking and looking at pictures. That's what we do. We don't just go, oh, look, you know, look at it. Oh, that's that. We actually spend hours before we say anything.
Yes.
Behind the scenes work, isn't it?
Yes.
It's called research.
But anyway, you did all this because you, at the time, were trying to help everybody. And that's the bit that's upsetting, that this person comes in, takes it all, and then suddenly he's got this great big following, and all those people didn't know the truth.
That's right.
That's right.
He lied to them. And I think that's, you know, it's wrong. It's just wrong.
Yes,
you
it is.
Don't do that. If you do that on YouTube, what are you like in real life?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, how can you trust that man?
A lot of us, though, we want a different way anyway. The way it is horrible and narcissistic, and there's too many wrong things going on, which we can see in the footage. But we've all started to come together and become friends, and we don't want that. You know, we've got to. There's not many people in life we're going to be able to trust, but let's hope we can all trust each other now, because we respect each other.
Sure we can.
We respect each other.
That's right.
I'm sure we can. Well, that's what it comes down to, is respect.
Yes.
Respect for another person and what they do and how they do it. And you don't, you know, like, I don't think life was meant to be like that.
Me neither.
You're not smart enough, good enough to do your own research, whatever the case is. But you don't just go and steal someone's work that they've worked months and months on. You don't do that.
I suppose sending it to him, he thought he could use it, but just say you'd sent it to me, I wouldn't have claimed it as mine. I would have said that you gave it to me.
I just asked him. All I did was ask him if he'd have a look at it, because I wanted to put it out there. I needed to get it out there, because it was Bella that they're saying that the babies were taken out in garbage bags, and I'm seeing something else completely to what they're saying.
Yes.
Do you know something? I did make a video about that, because I think that's really crazy when the DA lied in court and he hasn't rectified that.
Me too.
And it's that's wrong. It's just wrong from DA especially. But what I was wanted to go back to, that something that's really, really bothered me, because I researched this too, and that was for a 4.5-year-old, the circumference of the head is about 9 to 9.5 inches. So how in God's holy name can a 9 inch, let's just cut it at 9, how can a 9...
I did that, Diane. I did a video of that Unscrambled, because, you know, it's a bit like, it's okay to say, oh, of course he could, of course he couldn't, you know, unless you go and do a little bit of research yourself. So I started going and looking up children charts to see how big a child would be at 2, 3 and 4. And to be honest, I don't think he'd have even got Cece in there.
No.
I don't either.
No, she was a solid little girl.
Without excuse me everybody, it's not very nice. He'd have had to have smashed them to get them in there.
Yeah.
They say there's no evidence of injuries except to Bella's face.
Especially Cece has no injury, just that she's dead.
Yes.
That comes.
And how,
Yes.
excuse me, just diversing just for 2 seconds, but we're not going to talk about that, okay, really. But, now this book and everything, and now, he killed them in the house and then he killed them again. Like,
Twice.
these children
Yeah.
would have been
Yes.
damaged. Surely they just would have been. When you've been murdered, you don't just usually go click your fingers and they're murdered. You have to do things to them. But the autopsy for
Yes.
Cece said nothing. There was no
That's
marks on
right.
her, no nothing.
That's right.
And the
Mm.
blanket that he was supposed to have smothered them with at Anadarko was actually in the corner of the bedroom on the welfare check.
Yes. That's
So
right, Diane.
explain that.
That doesn't make sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
But I did 2 videos or even 3 or 4. I can't remember now. I might have mentioned it and then made a couple. I just couldn't believe, especially when at the beginning, this news reporter said to this guy, he couldn't believe. He thought that maybe he'd put them in a different way because, and also when you look up, I mean, some people have said those tanks weren't in service, but they still were sealed and they still had oil in them and it still would have got really hot in the day.
Yes.
And I mean,
yes.
nothing. They would have been so damn it. They would have been anyway. And of course, people have left comments because one said that their dad was a medical examiner, and of course we've had Mario. They can't believe it doesn't look right. None of what's happened looks right. They'd have needed special rooms, special equipment. There'd have been much more information on that autopsy, and it's just not there. It's like they're talking about 2 different things here. 2 different sets of people. And also when you look up, I mean, some people have said those tanks weren't in service, but they still were sealed and they still had oil in them and it still would have got really hot in the day.
Yes.
And I mean, nothing. They would have been so damn it. They would have been anyway. And of course, people have left comments because one said that their dad was a medical examiner, and of course we've had Mario. They can't believe it doesn't look right. None of what's happened looks right.
Really, yes. And those little thief hatches are so tiny when you really see them, like from an aerial view.
Do you know what it says though? It says this because I obviously went to research a bit on that, and there was these people saying that they were doing their testing on the thief hatches, and then basically this person said, if the oil is boiling, come back another time. So that's what he said on this training video. And they've got to be sealed because someone said calling me an idiot, but they have to be sealed because people don't realise these oils give out vapours, and these vapours can catch fire.
Yes.
So they can't let all the vapours coming out of the tanks because they can mix with other things. Someone could then be not realising it's all their lighted cigarette and poof. I don't know exactly how it works, but these vapours can turn into fire just if you're not careful, and they're all mixing. That's what causes the fires. So they've got to be sealed. But I couldn't believe they could get in there either. So yeah.
I heard they are designed the way they are. They're designed that way to even prevent small animals from being able to get in. So if they're trying to protect a small animal from getting in, how are you going to get 2 children of that size into there?
Well, if you think about it, Chris Watts said that I think it was Graham asked him how did he get them in there. And he said he lifted. It was really easy. He lifted Bella's arms above her head. So she think about it. She's got a 9-inch head. That 9-inch head now becomes like about a 16-inch head.
Yeah.
Because you've got the width of the arms or the length.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the shoulder point's the widest bit, isn't it, as well? Not just the head, the shoulders.
Right.
No, shoulders.
Exactly.
So I don't believe him at all. I think he told them what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
We need, one way or the other, whatever this case is, I'm not going to say what I think it is, but whatever it is, it's a reality that we're all involved in.
Exactly.
And I think that we need to solve it because the authorities, excuse me, have not done their job, in my opinion.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
Hear, hear. That's what I think.
Hey?
I said, hear, hear. That's what I think.
Yes. Me
Well, they haven't.
too.
I mean, you know, they let the rubbish bins go for a start. Now, you know, you got a husband and wife, pregnant wife, and 2 babies are missing. And
Mm-hmm.
you leave them alone in the house all night. And the next day and the next day. Now, I don't think for a minute that they didn't probably immediately put him under surveillance. But in the meantime, the rubbish is gone. The rubbish
Yes.
from around the neighbourhood has gone. So anything, you know, there's just too many mistakes that they've made.
Not just that. I did one only a couple of weeks ago because I just realised myself that those police officers had gone back to pick up the sheets for forensic testing.
Yeah.
Now, by that stage, because he'd been arrested or he was definitely well, they were taking the sheet, so I think he must have already admitted he'd murdered, well, you know, that part of it.
But he'd already washed those sheets. They were clean sheets.
But they should have been wearing white overalls because the whole point of those overalls is to stop hairs and skin or anything extra being added and contaminating. And we all know the house was pretty contaminated with the amount of people that had been in and out before they decided to turn it into a crime scene. But those people still would have been wearing white suits. They're not. They've just got black plastic gloves on. I mean, they give us the programs or the forensic ones, so they don't even follow the programs they give us.
That's right.
Designed to confuse.
Yes.
I don't think they thought we'd be looking at it like that because, you know, now all we're doing is looking to see how many times we see these people in other cases. But originally, you know, like you'd watch it all, but then maybe you go on to the next case. But the Watts case has drawn many, 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 many people, hasn't it? Like it's just like it's something people are absolutely drawn to, fascinated.
Well, my mother died on August the 16th when the 2 babies were found, and she used to always have this nightmare dream. 2 little girls went missing from one of her ovals, and she went on a long drive with my dad, and she just kept seeing these little girls at every, you know, those stops that tell you how far, how many yards you've gone or whatever.
Yeah.
Little white posts we used to have. And she said she'd see these 2 little girls at every single post all the way to where they were going back again. And it used to wake her up, and she used to cry a lot about these 2 little girls. And so August 16th, it was Elvis as well. She died. And the 2 babies, you know, to me that struck a chord. It was like a sign, you know, you've got to look at this one.
Yes.
Something's not right.
That's right.
Well, we're not even sure what they're doing really, because some of us have noticed there isn't just one Chris Watts, there's 2 or 3 of him. There isn't just one Shanann, there's 2 or 3 of her, it might be even 4. So it's a bit crazy, isn't it? All of it.
It's very crazy.
Just asking you back to that bit, because, okay, so we're all still researching and trying to see if we can understand this case more. We're going to do that behind the scenes. This other person, the one that stole them, did he ever speak to you, or did he just ignore you?
Well, I got kicked off. I got muted on the live when I asked him to admit what he'd done. I got muted. I got kicked off. I went to the page. I got invited to the secret page by Maureen. And I went on there and they asked me questions. And naturally, I put everything down on their page. And then all of a sudden, one day I couldn't get back in. And then I couldn't get on the page. And then, I'm still booted on the live, I think. I might get one comment in before they see it and blitz it.
Well,
yeah, so he shut me down. So I can't say anything. And he's got all the followers because of the shadows.
Yes.
He's pretending that he's actually an armchair detective, when in fact all he's done is stolen other people's work.
That's right. That's awful.
He's done it too. you know, there might be more people he's done it to.
Well, I've heard that
Yeah.
in the Madeleine McCann case, he stole a lot of people's work there too.
Mm.
And yeah, went on. You know, that was the thing. That picture, that first picture that I sent of Marilyn Monroe. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Madeleine McCann.
Yes.
There's a place that you can go to, IMOB or HB, something like that, and you can look people up, and it tells you if they're an actress or this or that.
Oh,
So anyway,
wow.
someone sent a link, so I looked up, and there he is with the very same picture right next to a picture of him on his documentary, saying that, well, look what he's found or something.
Oh,
And
my.
he didn't find that either. I
Oh,
did.
wow.
And he's done nothing since about Madeleine McCann. He said he's not doing it anymore. And it's like, but I gave you that picture. Why aren't you
Mm-hmm.
following it up?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, so I don't like the man.
Because I think they've got, we're all interested in loving the people, loving each other, helping
Yes.
each other, respecting each other, and seeing that things are wrong and trying to help each other. But that other person isn't there for that.
Well, he's not.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not there for that.
Well, he's not.
That's right. He,
No.
he's there for the money and the
Money.
fame.
Yes. Now, you know what? Seeing all these people coming out writing these books,
Yes.
and all it is based on what we already know. And I've
Mm-hmm.
heard that. I mean, I don't know if I can say this, but I'll say you can edit it, maybe. But that I've heard it said that these letters are not even from Chris.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? It's a money-making scam.
Didn't you tell me last night, Diane, that people are starting to look at this and they're all very confused and they don't believe a lot of what's being said?
Well, now
Yeah.
they're leaving the theories behind and looking for something new, something solid, if you like. And I think they're coming to our videos because
Yes.
we've got the goods, we've got the evidence.
Yes.
We're not just being airy-fairy and pulling things out of the air and making things up. We've actually got evidence that states what we've said.
That's right.
And to a lot of people, that Diane does the same as me. And what it is I've been called an idiot and all sorts of things for this. But if you go and watch when videos are being manipulated, these people tell you what you need to do is slow the footage down. And when you slow it down enough, you see the mistakes because they can never be perfect. And those are what I'm seeing. Those are what Diane sees. This is what I give out on the channel. This is what Diane's doing. Showing you the mistakes. I mean, thank goodness they can't make it perfect yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Diana and I were talking. When you slow this footage down, you go, oh, look at that. And then when you go back to play it again, it's gone. And then you mess around. Oh, there it is again. It's like there's different tracks in the video. And you've got to hit the right track. And when you do, you see the mistakes, more mistakes.
You see things that you're not supposed to see.
Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? I don't know if you know that, Amy, but about slowing the footage down. It just 1 minute it's showing you this, and then you think, oh, I want to see that again. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, and then but if you slow it down enough, you can usually see it.
Yeah.
And you just find the mistakes.
Yes.
And I love finding them, I've got to tell you, because
I know.
you know, it's not a mistake if you've actually can see someone in the background smoking a cigarette or reading a book or
That's
drinking
right.
a cup of coffee. They're playing us for fools, or
That's right.
they're seeing who's awake and who's the most intelligent and who's willing to do the research to find the truth.
I think that's a good point, Diane.
Thank you.
I think they want to see who, how many people they can fool, or how many people that will catch on, and who are the types of people that are willing to actually take a deeper look at it and be willing to catch on to it.
Yeah, and stick with it,
and stick
regardless.
with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be allowed to go, because that district attorney, he never he should have made a different speech when all that came out about that Chris killed the girls at the oil fields. Well, he should have said something about
He
that, the
should have
district
done some
attorney.
research.
Yeah, and he should have retracted his original statement and said, I think, and said something like, well,
Well, I think it's really surprising if he's come out with all these new revelations that Tammy and Graham didn't go back.
I know.
I'm
We never.
confused. Sorry.
Yes.
Well, they went to see him, and then we get it from him. Yes, he killed the children at the oil tank, kind of thing. But now he's admitted he's now killed them at home. Surely the authorities still would like a statement from him then.
Right. Yeah.
I think the judicial system owes the people of the world an answer to what is actually going on here, because it's really dragged a lot of people into it, and it's a very emotional case.
Exactly.
And it does take its toll.
Yeah, and for all these people who think we're being horrible, we're not, because all of us have cried over this case.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Torn my heart out on a few occasions. Like,
Me
you have
too.
to put it down and walk away. But, you know, the very least, he deserves a trial, and we, the people, deserve an answer as to what has gone on here.
That's right.
And put an end to it.
Well, yeah, a video again the other day, because like I do think I remember that he was offered a solicitor at the beginning, and he might have said no, it's okay because I'm helping with the, I'm helping, so I don't need a solicitor. But the moment they said, right, you failed the polygraph test, they should have read him his rights and offered him a solicitor.
Yes.
And they didn't.
That's right.
I haven't seen one piece of footage where he was read his rights.
Me neither. I don't think anybody has.
No, well,
and
that's wrong.
And they're supposed to say, it's a specific thing they say. They say, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And you have the right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. That's called the Miranda rights. And they have to read them. I've seen cases, I've seen cases get thrown out if the rights were not read. They'll throw it right out. And then there was a case where a man, I saw it on like a true crime station. I suppose it was a true crime. This was a few years ago. This older man was a suspect for killing his wife like 20 years ago. He just killed her and then he buried her. And then like 20 years went by and they suspected him. So they brought him in for questioning. And he was telling some stuff, and then he said, well, I don't think I should be talking anymore. But he didn't ask for a lawyer. He just said, I don't think I should be talking anymore. But they just let him keep going and keep going. And he wound up confessing that he killed her, and then he buried her, and that was it. And they had to throw the whole confession out because they said as soon as he said that he don't think he should be talking anymore, that was an implied request for an attorney. And so here with Chris Watts, I mean, we didn't hear like anything at all.
No, all you heard Tammy say is it's all to do with feelings, and you want to get it off your chest, don't you? Like.
There was one thing in a video that I sent to you, Karen. It was the one with it looks like a clock behind them when the DA is given a speech after I think CW was convicted, and there's a whole line of them. They walk in, and the first cop, the little cop, he's got his uniform, and as he walks by, you can see that it's the head of an alien. That's on his shoulder patch. It's on his shoulder patch.
Well, none of those people are in proportion. I think probably because what it meant was because we had the good old DA and he was such a hero and the case was solved before it went to court. But really, there's a great big DA and all the other people are about a third shorter than they should be behind him. Like they just don't look right.
Yes.
It's incredible. And they're all doing the hand signals and everything.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they all look like they're wearing eye makeup, don't they, Amy?
They do. I know. What is with that? That's crazy. Every one of them. That is so crazy. Even the men. That's right.
Anyway, that was a bit freaky for me that day because, you know, I don't know why other people are prepared to, I mean, some of them are, and some people, because of people like Diane or this channel, it's Unscrambled, they actually go and do it themselves. But I couldn't believe it when I lined up the DA's face and Chris Watts, and they looked the same.
I know. I know.
What is this?
I know. I don't know. I know. It's so crazy. I just can't understand, like, but I mean, they must have a real DA, right? The guy, Michael Rourke or whatever. So then do they take like a picture of him and then like when they're making like...
Thing is, I put out videos, haven't I? I've done 2 of them now, Amy. I put one out this week that they like using us as a social experiment. And then, you know, the first one said that they can have fake accounts, they can do all these things, they'll look like real people, but they're not real people, and they've infiltrated the internet to spy on us.
That's what I think, yep.
And that's what I'm wondering whether some of these channels are all to do with. They're just doing it in a different way because they want you glued to them. They want you glued to the drama, and it keeps going and going and going.
Yes.
Maybe books and deals.
Well, yeah,
right.
there's one happened, and now, thank goodness, a lot of people don't think that what's been said adds up.
It just doesn't add up.
Hopefully they'll realise that theories don't cut it and come over to our channels and look at some real evidence, because what we have has taken a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't see it to start with. It was doing the shadow drive, and if I only went there first of all because I was so like, oh my goodness, because, you know, like I was in support of Shanann, and then the shadow thing, that the children could have been there, and alive, that changed everything for me. But then I kept looking like you did at the footage of the drive, and I think in all, there's 22 or 24 videos of the drive, just all different things, like a picture of Jimmy pops up, you know, and the fact that at one point there's 3 Chris Watts on the drive, all in one frame, just like hologrammy things, coming, going, standing, and it's like, so it just took me all that time to go through the videos. But the thing is, I was only, Diane, concentrating on the bit round the truck, and I was gobsmacked when I went back the other day to see, it looks like a studio in the trees, and there's all these people sitting in Nate's truck.
Yes.
I found those, I think the one in the car, the guy in the car, and he looks like he's smoking an e-cigarette. I think I found him in February, March, and I put it out on somebody's page. I'm not sure now. That would have been AD's page.
Because that was it when I was looking at it. But sometimes when you're actually viewing these videos, when it's really dark outside, you get to see things better. Really late night is the best time to look at the videos for some reason. But on the bonnet of the car, when I saw it at one point, but I couldn't find that again, it didn't look so good. You can see there's a screen, like a flat screen, with things happening on it, like part of the scene happening on Nate's bonnet, looking up.
Yes. Yes. I saw that too, yes.
If you look in that little garden that Nate's got to the right of his front door, there's a lot happening in that little garden there.
Yes, it is.
It's layered up. And
yeah, a couple of people noticed there were some faces and things going on. And in fact, a face appears just on the back of the truck. You know, so there's these people sitting in the back window looking out the window, but then this face just appears at the back of the truck. And to be honest, I wanted to do it, but it would take me hours. In a sense, I've said to Diane, it's almost as if there are other people and things moving around at the back of the car, and you kind of catch them. But you know, you and me understand it because we've watched hours of this. But to try and explain that to someone's quite difficult. But you can see there's so many things moving. When I watch that, it looks like it's pitch dark, doesn't it? But now I've looked at it, there's masses going on in there. And what I don't understand is, even the Discovery documents not been amended to that 10 minutes. You know, dark into the sun practically being there is, you've got to go through twilights. You've got to go through all the, like 2 or 3 different twilights. Exactly. Like, this is a period of time. So why bother giving us a video like that? Why release that video?
Because,
Right.
Why would the Weld County, why would they release a video like that to the public?
I don't know.
That's got a body being carried out that's got Shanann's body being carried out by 2 people. Now, I found that, just so no one else can lay claim to it.
Yes.
And I found lots of other things on the drive and elsewhere around the house, which, you know, I put it into videos, but you have to go and have a look.
Yeah, so it's like, and I know Amy will understand as well as Diane. You start off in that corner and then you think, oh, I can see that. And by the time you finish, there's about 1,000,001 things. And even when you're finished, you're looking at upload and you go, oh, look, I can see something else now that I didn't see before.
Oh, I know. You have to have eyes everywhere because there's something in every little corner or something. It's like, what's that? What's this?
You have to turn the pictures around and upside down and flip them, and it's a lot of work actually, but I love it.
I know.
The one thing another reader, she doesn't want me to mention her name, but the one that puts all the squiggles everywhere on the pictures, she does exactly the same. She realises she's looking at it, and then she'll always turn the picture up and will show me a face upside down, and then she turns it the right way so you can see it. There seems to be things upside down, things the right way. I mean, is this hologramming? I don't know what it is.
Me neither. It seems like hologramming, but why do we have to see so many faces and writing like that? That's what is bothering me. Like, what is the, like, are we seeing the faces because of the hologramming, or they
put there deliberately?
That's what that's what I'm trying to ask.
Subconscious.
Is it deliberately put in so that our subconscious mind picks it up?
I've been doing it for years.
I think it's that you're always watching ugly, and actually it's helping to make a very narcissistic society, and no one will know why. But I mean, for instance, the smoke coming out of the Twin Towers, the heads were coming out with faces on. The head would be the shoulders, would be the head, would be the shoulders, and it carried on. But if you imagine you watched that for 20 hours, you'd have been watching thousands and thousands of ugly faces in front of you and not realising it.
That's right. And you're not even realising.
This psychologist or numerologist or whatever he is, he's not a real doctor. Apparently, and he shouldn't be giving advice that he's not qualified to give to anyone on YouTube, on Alan Vinnicomb's channel. And he's Alan actually asked this guy what he thinks whether Chris Watts has autism or not. And this guy went on to espouse that, no, he doesn't have autism. He's not on the spectrum. He's not this. He's not that. And I'm thinking now, what are you basing that on? Because you haven't been to jail and, you know, done an experiment on him, or, you know, like if you go to a hospital and they keep you, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, personally, what it was is, not only did the drive thing happen, then they gave out everybody's names and addresses and telephone numbers and email addresses, which I've never heard anything like that in my life before. And then I noticed that that person was, you know, he was one of them was the T-shirt. Oh, he jumped on her as she came through the door, but she actually was found in a different T-shirt, so he couldn't have done. And he was constantly putting out all this information all the time, and it was wrong. And it was because he kept saying the wrong things that Unscrambled changed its mind and broke the footage down on the drive and carried on.
Yes.
So, I mean, the good thing, the one good thing that's come out of it is the fact that you are now one of the wise ones who can see, because you know what you're looking for.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's come in different sections, Diane. I don't know if it was the same for you. You look at it and you find all these things, like I could see the different coloured eyes, then you suddenly see the weird sort of faces and things appearing, but differently.
Yes.
Then it comes to this. Then you can see the television working with the children, and it's like that thing's moving with Bella, and then you can see through their heads. You can see through their heads.
I've got pictures that shows you the light shining through their head in my videos.
Yes, I've seen them. Yes.
I don't understand when everybody knows that we live in this society where they love watching videos about people explaining that they can hologram and do all these things with virtual reality, but no one wants to see it when it's actually in front of their faces.
No,
That's
and being
right.
used in such a disgusting, horrific manner
Exactly.
to instill fear
Yes.
on lonely old women, pregnant women, little children.
Yes.
And meanwhile, people are making a lot of money.
And not just that, though, to rile up thousands and thousands, I mean, like hundreds of thousands of people who are now quite depressed and feeling they've got to be watching every single piece of information to see if the news changes and all that. And then the devastation about how they must have felt about the children, Shanann, all that. To do all that to its people.
Not to mention, women that have lost babies by accident or, whatever. I mean, what do you think that's doing to them? And people like my mum, who's kept seeing those little girls year after year after year. And having nightmares. And it's all a lie.
That's right.
Thing is, like you, this channel, Unscrambled, me and Patricia at the time, we were going because I have another channel, we talk about lots of other things there. So we thought, let's do crime and psychology. So if people went to look up the about of the channel, it will say crime and psychology. It says I just repeat it and that's what we got into. But now I'm here, it's psychology. That's for me. I'm looking at it in a psychological way because I can just see all these things happening and I keep putting them out because they just don't add up on all this footage. Doesn't matter which one I go to.
So it's good though in a way because it's made you question. There's a lot of people, you're awake now, whereas a lot of people are still asleep. They don't care. They love the drama. That's all they care about.
Exactly.
And
that's
it's
right.
Sad.
It is sad.
The thing is that what they don't realise is when something isn't right, it sort of takes your freedom away, and you don't realise that's what's happened because now you believe all this stuff, and it didn't happen that way. It could have happened a different way. We don't even know what's happened with this case. All we know is the footage doesn't add up. So, but why do that? Why? I mean, the footage is so manipulated. What is going on?
That's right.
Well, it must be a psyop then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I think it's a psyop. Yeah.
What makes you think that, Amy?
I just think that if it's so much fake stuff going on, like once Karen found about the picture that they had taken of Chris Watts when Tammy and Graham went to the prison and interviewed him and did that big long 5-hour interview, and then they put that picture out. They said maybe take a picture of you and nobody will ever see it. Put it all over YouTube anyway. And then Karen, one of her first videos she did discovering the fakery was that picture, and her and it might have been Patricia, I'm not sure who you were talking with, Karen. I felt like you had another person you were analyzing it with, and you've put up it just showed up in my YouTube feed one morning and it said, oh my god, the picture is fake. So I was looking at it and then I started to see everything that Karen was pointing out.
Do you know what's really alarming? I mean, some people think that I'm crazy, but his arms are legs.
Yeah.
His arms are legs. They're not arms, they're legs.
Yeah. So I just feel like once you find one fake thing like that, to me, the whole house of cards started coming
Yeah.
down.
Not even that interview
Like,
day. There's no way he'd have had that tag thing round his neck, considering he'd just come or had come off suicide watch. He wouldn't be sitting in a room with all
Yeah,
those boxes and wires.
right.
And also, wouldn't he have still been, I'm sorry, handcuffed or something?
I
oh, I
think
know.
the trust of the maybe they've done a bad thing, because I think no one will trust the authorities as much. I don't think
Yes,
after this. How
I
can
would
you
think.
Well,
I
they're
agree.
in all the footage, aren't they? And they're the people I'd like to go to, but I
Yeah,
can't.
they've let it out,
Exactly.
and it's it's actually well, they've let it out.
Exactly.
They've let it out, and it's it's actually, it feels like it should be a crime against humanity, to tell you the truth.
I
They shouldn't be
agree.
allowed to do it. And we all know that they brought in a law, the media brought in a law that it's okay for them to lie. They do not have to tell us the truth. So they're
Yes.
using more and more green skin.
Yes.
What a stupid law that is, though. How stupid is that when they're trying to tell you the news and all they're ever going to do is lie to you? What a stupid law that is.
Money. It's all about money. Who can make the most
Yes.
money? You know, they put adverts in papers in Australia for crisis actors. And then before you
Oh,
know it, there's a
wow.
false flag. Yeah? And you
Mm-hmm.
keep seeing
Yup.
the same faces. Okay,
Yes.
they were at the Boston bombing. They were at the Twin Towers. You know, and
Yeah.
it's the same person.
Same people. Yes. The same
You know, how
ones.
can they get away with this? It's wrong.
Because not
Well,
enough
it was,
people have woken up yet, that's why. And the fact is that
yeah.
I looked at the statistics on Unscrambled the other day, and I'd say about 80% of the people watch the videos from their mobiles. You know, when you've got a mobile, you're at work, you've got it over there, you're cooking, everybody's looking,
Mm-hmm.
turning away, looking. And I'm not sure whether they've done something so that people on mobiles can't see it. But you can see it on the computer. It's on
Yes,
for me, I saw it not on my phone, on the computer, but now we're trained, you only have to start looking at a bit of footage and you think,
Yeah.
there it is again. You can see it
Look at
with your
that.
naked eye at full
Yes.
speed now. But originally, I could only see it like, what's that on the computer? So a lot of people aren't taking notice because,
Right.
the children are making a noise. I've got to go shopping now, and they're looking, and
Yes.
you know, like,
They're not looking
yeah.
at it the whole time.
And if you just want a quick
Yeah.
thrill, you see, we've gone further than that. We've spent hours looking at things.
Days,
Yes.
weeks, months. And now it's over a year.
Oh, I
I've
know.
looked at some kind of footage every day for that year to do with
Me
this case.
too. Yes.
Well,
To do
so
with
have
this
I
case.
now. I mean,
Yes.
you know, like I feel very offended when people think I'm being horrible. I'm not being horrible. I'm just showing you what they're showing us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
Exactly. Don't shoot the messenger.
And then, you know, some of these channels that think they are reporting crime cases, they're not looking into anything themselves. They're not. How can you miss all these things now? There's too many faces and things, and they're still ploughing on. And like, if they were, especially that one channel which we're here about today, you know, like if he was a real armchair or a detective, he would have noticed some of the things that were wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he was looking into the Madeleine McCann case because things were wrong, why hasn't he done the same for this one?
Well, because he's not a researcher, and he lied, and he stole my shadows, and he made
Yeah.
a lot of money out of my shadows, and he's still claiming. And you know, I'd like to get him on a lie detector test, to be honest.
I find it very alarming that there are certain channels all asking for money every time they come on, every time they make a video. I've just like, that's all it is to them, is money.
Yes.
Yeah, well, to me, it's solving this case. I'd like to solve this case, and then possibly write a book after with all my pictures, and you know
Oh, that would be great.
yeah, and maybe make a documentary about all of this, what we found, and
Yes. Oh, I know. That would be awesome.
yes.
Ed, when Amy came to Unscrambled or saw something, she was feeling that the case had happened, everything was as the way it was. And then when you hit Unscrambled, you could see it was all different, couldn't you, Amy?
Oh, yes. But I already knew the narrative wasn't adding up. I knew something was wrong because nothing was making sense. And I was, especially after that second interview, just something really felt wrong. And so then I was looking around trying to figure out what really happened. And I thought maybe Chris Weiss had been hypnotized. They had a theory going out that the Anadarko somehow had him hypnotized to do it, and that Nicole Kessinger was his handler, like that planted these hypnotic suggestions. But then when I came on to the Unscrambled channel and Karen showed the fake pictures, that was like, then it just clicked for me. It came together. I said, this is why none of it's right, and it's not adding up because it's not real. Everything is fake. That's how I interpreted it. And the more she showed, and I was like, if one thing is fake and this much is fake, then it's kind of all gotta be. And then when you know the police were involved with it, then you realize the police can't be trusted, etc. You know,
that's a loss of trust, isn't it? Right
yes. But see, I think their agenda is to create fear among families, like that you would be afraid of your husband.
Yeah, it's more than that. I think it's even now is you can't even trust sort of a 30-year-old man anymore. They're all going to kill you.
Right.
And there was comments you were noticing that people were writing, weren't they, Amy, on chat, like, I don't know if I can trust my boyfriend. And it's setting...
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
And then, you know, those other cases that happened shortly after CW case. And it was, oh, look here, and now just recently that Mike Jones too. You know, and it's so horrific. And they're just getting worse and worse. And it seems to me the worse these get, the more money they're making.
Exactly. Oh, it's awful.
Do you know what? If you promote these things that have happened, supposedly, then you don't get penalised. If you put up a narrative where you're questioning it, you get penalised.
Right. That's right.
Well, my channel's not monetised, and so they can't... I mean, I suppose they penalise me in the sense that my channel doesn't get out there because it's not recommended, I guess. I don't know how it works. I just like to put my videos out and try to get the message out as much as I can.
Yes.
The same as, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. You can't leave it.
That's
leave it to the authorities.
And the thing is that people say the same thing to me, oh, you're horrible, you're doing this for money. But if I was doing it for money, I wouldn't be doing this. It takes me on average between 10 and 30 videos, all might be little sections, because I have to explain it back to people. And you suddenly realise, oh, but I've left that bit out and I forgot about... And by the time you've finished, you've made 30 sections and then it will jump. It takes hours to make these videos. If I was doing it for money, I would have found something else to make money on. But me as well, I wanted the truth to come out. I want people to realise what's going on.
Well, I think we've got the truth. I think we found the truth tonight. And,
I think so.
I think we should maybe talk about that in another one, hey?
Yeah, I think so.
Think? The one...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, what I showed you just a little while ago, I think maybe...
It's okay if I just explain to people because they won't understand. We paused for a minute and we were looking at some photographs and Diane's found something else. So we're probably going to have more another hangout soon about it, because every time you look at a picture, because we can see much more now, you just keep finding stuff every picture you look at. Yeah. Stopping the footage, a picture, it doesn't matter which way it is. You keep finding things.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's a doozy, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's very scary and I don't like it.
I know, it is very scary.
I
No, because we
know,
don't know
it
who
is
we're
really
dealing with, do
scary.
we? Really?
No, we don't.
I
And
know.
that's, but what they put in the videos that people don't see are these evil look. You know, I might sound like an absolute lunatic, but I'll do that for the sake of the shadows because they're there. They're in Nate's video, and there's all sorts of animals and white
Mm-hmm.
rabbits everywhere, and demons and monsters
Yes.
and little people and
I found Michael Jackson a couple of times.
Yes.
depends how you look at it, isn't it? But they're all there. You can't deny not seeing them.
Right.
That's why I got
Yeah.
these. I like doing my pictures, and all I do is maybe brighten some up, and it really
Mm-hmm.
brings out what is actually in the shadows.
Yes.
Yeah, that
That
brightening
is,
things up again, slowing it down, brightening it up, and if it doesn't show through brightening it up, I put the rainbow effect on it because that rainbow effect often shows it up if I can't do it another way.
Yeah.
Well, there's a picture of Shanann. I believe it's Shanann. In my video I say it's NK because that's who I thought it was on my journey through this case.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you learn more, obviously your ideas change a bit. So, but I've left them up there because that's what it was at the time. But now I believe it's Shanann, and I believe there's two little girls in the car. But what I couldn't see was there's a knife at the side of the picture, and it was only when I put it through an app that
Oh.
knife appeared because it was all in the black.
Wow.
Yes, because when you fiddle around with the filters, you can actually see everything that's hidden
Yeah.
from your normal eyesight.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not trained at doing this. We've accidentally come across it, haven't we?
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because
And
now that's what we all do. We all go and take it through whatever we get. We go and do filters and things on it because we know
Yes.
once you lighten it, you can see a lot more.
There's going to be
Yeah.
something in there that you're supposed to see. Like, I mean, who's gonna excuse me. When you go through these videos, like one frame at a time,
Mm-hmm.
you get to see a lot more than anybody else on this earth would ever see if they didn't. And when you stop at certain frames and take pictures,
Yeah.
and then go back and put that through a filter, I mean, I've got so much better pictures since I've been doing that as opposed to the very first one, the iconic one of NK holding Bella in the driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, all I had there was my magnifying glass on my phone, but now I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
Have you noticed as well when you're doing this, like I just said, that the way I found it was you on my computer on a bigger screen and slowing it down.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Mhm.
it's better to actually catch it on your phone than it is the computer, and sometimes it's better on the computer, not your phone. It's really weird that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing because I've got an iPhone 5, I think. So, and I just use it for taking pictures. I don't use it for calls or what it's meant to be used for. I just take pictures on it, and I'm really happy because that's how I found NK on the drive.
Wow.
Thing is, the
Very
footage
well
is so
and
manipulated. There's so many boxes and things in there. You only have boxes when you've manipulated things, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't understand why it has to be so manipulated. But Diane and I've talked about it, and even Amy has known. But like it's got layers on it. There are filters on top of it, so you can't see it. It's all blurred on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
yes.
it's the quality.
Layer
They have
on
they have uploaded it at such a low resolution. It makes it blurry. They've done whatever it is. They've done something.
See there again,
Mhm.
like how could Weld County release that to the public?
I know.
Because I don't think they were expecting people to slow it down. And do you know what? In a sense, even though it was your shadows, by the way, because of someone like him putting it out and alerting people, but they weren't expecting everybody to break this footage down like that.
They
That's
weren't.
right.
I think they got a shock because no one ever does, do they?
Have you noticed some of them are going, let's move on now. Let's move on all the time.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of them are still ploughing it. They can't wait for the next round of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, until this case is like I don't know what you call it, but gone through. This is how it happened. That's how it happened.
But you know what though? Even with Chris Watts, because the story keeps changing. Now he killed them in the house. People, I don't think it was. Oh, not enough. It starts wearing thin.
They're trying to turn people off, yes, but that's because mainly everyone is just theorising. I won't mention
That's
any
right.
names, but that's all they're doing is, this theory and that theory, and, come on over and listen to me talk about this new theory. And it's just theory on a theory on a theory. They're getting out of
Yes.
this world with their dreams and notions.
Yes, it does.
Karen and I have evidence which is completely different to a theory. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it, it's right there.
That's right.
Well, I don't talk about the people, do I? In my videos, really, I do not talk about the people personally, except they're in the footage and I'm looking at the footage.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
This is not some personal thing for them. I'm just horrified. I was never expecting to see it. But once you see it, you can't pretend that you didn't.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if the footage hadn't been so manipulated, we wouldn't have been breaking it down.
That's right.
Yeah, well, something was wrong, and that's what caught my eye. I love watching things in slow-mo because you get to see so much. And being a lover of, people like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and those kind of people, I love looking at the, I don't know, structure, lines, depth.
But the footage is pretty freaky, isn't it, when you start slowing it down, Diane? It just isn't right. All the lines drawn around everybody and, dark lines and, like the person who puts the squiggles on the picture, that person suddenly could see like they were the first one. There's holograms everywhere. And even Nicole Kissinger had 3 phones in the interview room, not 2. And there's a hologram on one of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's all these sort of subliminal messages or I don't know what, but again, you don't notice it at full speed. You only notice it when you slow it down. But
watched a movie about 20 times just to see. I'll focus on the hero or the heroine, and then I watch it again to see what the chick on the left's doing or the guy on the right, and over again till I've got everybody in their place. And then you can actually see everything that's going on. Because it's not just based on the hero or the heroine.
Right.
There's a lot going on in the background.
Exactly.
I do the same. I concentrate, like if there's been 2 people there, I'll look at one of them and then I'll look at the other. Because sometimes it's the other one that shows you where the things are wrong. And you've been concentrating for an hour on that one. And then, like when their arms go all weird and they don't go across each other, like they might morph through each other or something's going on. I agree. But it's like suddenly you're thinking, hang on a minute. Sometimes I think they're filming and you're in the middle of the hologram and this is why it's whamming around all around you. And suddenly then you can see the face of the person and then it whizzes off again because you're sort of in the middle of it. That's what it looks like sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
I put a couple of things about all the things unseen in Mona Lisa on the Hangout.
Oh, wow.
They've flipped it and put the different sides together and they make aliens or alien-looking creatures. And there's so much because Leonardo da Vinci lived in a time where the Roman Catholic Church would kill you for having a different opinion from them. So you have to hide a lot. And he used to write backwards and mirror image things. And when you look closely at the Mona Lisa and start playing with it, there's so much more to be seen in there that people wouldn't be aware of.
I think the thing that I'd like to say to people is if they would just not, you know, like, believe everything they're told and go and do their own research.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what it's all about, doing your own research.
Yes,
Don't
it
believe me.
is.
Don't believe me. But get Nate's video and go frame by frame. Or, like me and Karen have done, go look at our videos. Because it's all there.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But people, we were horrified. In fact, I think I've probably told Amy as well. Suddenly you'll find this bit of information. It's like about 3 or 4 in the morning and no one's around and you're like, oh, look what I've just seen now. I need to, you know, like, it's quite worrying when you see this. It's like,
and it might be something really horrific that you're looking at and you don't.
I know.
You know, you have to run away. I run away. I've got to go and have a cry at the back, you know, like, because I just can't deal with it. You don't believe what you're seeing.
Yes.
And you need someone there. So I'm so happy to have Karen as someone else who is doing the same as what I'm doing.
I know.
Love it because we've got so much in common.
I know. What a great thing that you guys have met and, you know, gotten together and gotten to know each other. I was so happy to see that.
It's awesome.
yeah, it's been, I've had Amy and a few other people, but it's quite a lonely trail in a way because so many people are into the narrative. And
you know different. We know different.
That's
narrative
right.
doesn't fit. You must quit.
That's right.
But, you know, I wasn't expecting this. I only went to sort of talk about crime cases and a bit of psychology around it. I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. And
to become a professional shadow finder.
That's right.
I think that's what we are.
I don't like the way that they've used the children, to be honest.
That's the worst.
I don't like the way that they've used children, that they're using children in these videos.
Use the children.
Well, there's, you know, the UN agenda out there, but that's a whole different topic, isn't it?
Oh,
And
yes.
there's the MK Ultra.
What I'm saying is, if you're prepared to use children like that in these videos, then you don't care about anybody or anything. Because the children are our future, and if you're depicting them and doing things to them in these videos, then
I know.
What are you saying? You're saying that children mean nothing. You know, there are laws, aren't here, for abuse, sexual abuse, and all these things we're supposed to live under. But this is what I see because, well, anyway, we can't go too deep into it because we have been going for an hour and 20 minutes and we will come back and talk about it again. But to do that to children, the children are our future. They're beautiful. They're not supposed to be, you know, like they're not indoctrinated yet, supposedly. You know, like they're more innocent. And then they're using them in, like, it's, I find it horrific. And that's another reason why I carried on, because I wanted to, couldn't help see that it's just so wrong.
It's
just
so
passed a
wrong.
law. They just passed a law in Queensland, excuse me, in Australia, that you can kill your baby on the last day, on the day it's born.
Oh, isn't that
in
awful?
Queensland.
Oh my gosh! Well, they did that in a couple of our states. They did a very similar thing. That you
how can that be?
You basically give birth.
It's
how
murder.
they did it here. You give birth to it, and then you just
and then
you kill
you let it die.
You let it die.
There's a lady, I saw a post tonight. There's a lady who actually said that she cuts. I mean, it's going to get graphic, but I mean, it's reality, isn't it? What they're doing. Oh no, I won't say that. You can do your own research on it, but it's horrific what they do.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's legal to do it, but
it's legal.
You go knock a child over with your car, and that's murder.
Right, exactly.
I don't understand that.
I know.
What you mean? How the law can say it and it's treated that way if they want to take it that way, but now they can take it this way and do something completely different with it.
And you know, men are voting on these laws too, and that just bothers the hell out of me. What's a man doing voting on whether a woman can have an abortion on the last day
I
or not.
know.
They shouldn't be
I
voting on
know.
that. Only women.
That's right.
Right, but
We
that
we
is
have learned, haven't
terrible.
we? And this case hasn't helped that we live in a very crazy place right now, a very crazy time.
Yes.
Sick
Yes.
and twisted world.
I know.
All I can see is it's
I
quite
never would have
demonic, to be
thought.
honest.
Very demonic. Well,
Yes.
the devil is roaming around the earth, seeing whom he may
Yes.
devour.
That's right. That's right.
Uh-huh.
I know that we're on our screens and we're looking at this stuff, but the best thing everybody can do is turn the tell lie vision off.
Totally agree. It's
Yes,
the worst
me
thing they ever
too.
invented.
Yes.
But I feel like Diane. I feel that how could they allow this footage to come out to us?
I know. That's what I couldn't understand.
That's
But
what I
if you
couldn't
look at any of the
understand.
footage of all these things in the interview rooms, none of it looks right anymore. None of it. Have you noticed? It's all sort of
No.
wavy and
Well, when
rainbow-like, and
you're
well, like we've been going for an
I
hour and a
think-
half now. Do you want to
Yeah.
come back and we'll do another one of these, soon?
Yeah, love
Okay,
to.
yes. That would be great.
Well,
that would be great.
Diane and Amy, it's been a pleasure as you're such beautiful ladies to have this great hangout with you. So I'm just very sorry that we can't be discussing nicer things in life, but maybe in the future we'll be able to. But we can't help researching now because we can see something's wrong. And even if Diane and I are putting things out on channels, Amy also does a lot of research. And there's a few other people as well that help this channel. And now obviously we talk to Diane and we're all helping each other. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yes.
And thank you. Thank you for giving me a
Yes,
voice.
thank you.
Oh no, thank you. Thank you so much. And we will talk again soon. But we'll say goodbye when I turn it off, but just for the actual recording. Thank you everybody for listening. And
Thank you.
thank you ladies.
It was a pleasure.
Big
Thank
hugs.
you.
Mwah.
Diane.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Karen and
Bye-bye.
Diane. But big
Thank you.
hugs, yes.
Big hugs everywhere.
Big hugs, everyone. Yes.